good day and welcome to a new video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
Heyo, and it's me Daniel, and today we're joined by Yun77. Yeah, heya.
Hello.
So yeah, you can check his work out here at deviantart.com Yun77. You're from France?
Yes, I'm from France. In Little Britain, do you know? It's the west part of France.
Oh, okay, interesting. That's cool. I mean, I don't really know my places that well.
You're from New Zealand. Huh?
Yes, I'm from New Zealand. So you know, and even in New Zealand, it's like I don't know all the places around here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was still learning, you know. But I mean, yeah, one day I might visit France, you know.
Oh, if you have the occasion, it's a beautiful place. Especially here where I am. I'm in the coast, so I like see the sea and go out to see the how to say that, the kind of forest and coast together.
Of course.
A lot of rocks. A really cool place.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, tell me about yourself.
I don't really know where to begin. Now I'm 41 years old, and I just begin digital painting 3 years ago in 2016. Before, when I was in high school, I draw a lot, but I go to the faculty, and I choose my first year. I choose how to say that, plastic arts.
Oh yeah.
Plastic arts, and I just stay there for 6 months.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not what I want to do. Every time they want to do abstract things.
Yeah.
They don't like figurative, and for 20 years, around 20 years, I nearly didn't draw. And just 16, when my second daughter arrived, I begin. I begin to draw. Yeah, to redraw. Yes.
Awesome.
And after the plastic arts studies, I study Chinese, and I go to China. I know my English is not very good, but my Chinese is better. It's a little weird, I know. And I do translation a lot. I do French teacher and Chinese teacher. Now I do Chinese teacher too. Yes. So I really love digital painting. I just discovered that the first guy I see doing this is American. It's Chris Scalf. Maybe you know? Yeah?
I'm not too sure, but okay. Chris Scalf.
Oh, he like paint dragons and some Star Wars stuff. Star Wars and werewolf. These kinds of things. And he draws that very, very well. So I was in China when I discovered that. I just see some videos, and I really want to do the same, but I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know the graphic tablets things and so on. Yes, and when I begin, I just I go to the Red Cross. You know the Red Cross. I didn't have many money, so and there I just wanted to go there for my wife, and there I find an Intuos, maybe for $10. I buy it, and it's the first generation of Intuos, with a mouse in it too.
Awesome.
And I just begin drawing, and in France there is a guy with his name is Spartan, so this guy he has opened a kind of school, online school, and he gave us a lot of advice, and I learned a lot with this school.
Awesome.
And now I want to do maybe to do children books illustration or something like that. I really want to do that.
Very awesome. Was that school taught in different languages, or was it just English?
Which school? The digital painting school?
Yeah, that you would.
No, it's in French. In French, it's a French school. Yes. Yeah. And I think in French we don't have a lot of resources. I understand English very well. I don't have any problem to understand YouTube video on how to use Photoshop or how to draw things, composition, and so on. But in French there is not a lot of resource. So the digital painting school is a French school, and it's really an awesome school. Yes.
That sounds awesome. Was it actually? So it was online. And did you like have certain numbers of paintings or stuff that you had to do each week, or? It's
kind of a school with you have to pay to have some course, but there is a lot of free resource, and every week you can do an exercise on a team. Sometimes it's speed painting with 3 teams. You choose one and you draw something. Sometimes it's study, and there is other resources. You can the guy Spartan, he gives us some free lesson on. I remember the most beautiful lesson was on how to do a study. I didn't know how to do study. I don't know. I love Bierstadt, and he gives us some really simple advice. But if you don't know digital painting at all, you don't know how to do things. I first use GIMP and don't use Photoshop. So I was a little lost. I don't know how to use all this. And I learn a lot with this school. And all is online. Everybody can can go there and ask for advice. The community is very, very well, very kind, very kind.
Awesome. That's great. I feel like most of the art industry is very kind. You know, there's a lot of, you know, groups out there and chats that you can find that people will give you advice. There's obviously
I would agree with the visual art, but maybe in music it don't seems like this.
Yeah. Yeah,
but in visual art, yes, it is. It is. People are very kind.
Yes.
Each other.
Yeah, but there are definitely spaces out there that, you know, there's some negative people out there that just want to hate on art and visual art and things like that, and you know, you just tend to ignore that kind of a thing.
Yeah. Every time there is some guys just they want to. I don't know what they want. In a digital painting school, there is some guys that just steal art and show us. Hey, you see? Oh, but I don't understand why do you want to do that? Because if someone sees that and want to hire you, but you can't do the job, so what's the point?
Exactly. It won't take them long to find out that they actually did do the work, you know, that they just stole it. I mean,
yes.
Yeah. A lot of people do worry about that, like, when they first start to put stuff online. They worry that people are going to steal their work, and for me, I don't worry about that.
First, I worried, and my parents worried more. They don't want I put it on internet, but I think I don't have to worry that. Yes.
So you were worried about that at one stage?
Yes. First, I just begin. I just when I just begin to draw. I don't know. Now I know. For example, my picture all are smaller than I have. You know what I'm seeing.
Yes.
I post a smaller picture every time, but I don't think it's really matter. Now I don't really care. Nobody see what I'm doing. Basically, yes. I'm not
Yeah, well, some people are seeing your work, you know, people, you know, some people have larger communities, obviously. I mean, for me, I have a smallish community. It's, you know, slowly growing, and people do see my work. But, you know, I don't worry about people, you know, stealing my work, because if they're gonna steal it, it must be that good. You know, I don't know what they can do to get it out there a bit more, you know.
Yes. I mean, the same case, I think. My community is smaller, so I don't have to worry, I think, too.
And that, I mean, that's a good thing too, having a smaller community. You've got less people to deal with. You've got, you know, you've got nicer people sometimes. You know, having a big community, you probably have all sorts of people. You'll have, you know, bad people just commenting on your stuff, saying it's bad, and you know, you get all that other stuff. But with a more quieter community, you get like nicer feedback and things like that, and yeah, it's really cool.
Yes.
But yeah, it's not really, for me, it's, you know, it's not the size that matters. It's you know,
you just put it like you do it. when you post a picture on DeviantArt, you just you didn't make it smaller. You just put it like you do it.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
post it.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, I just share it with the world because, you know, it's I'm sharing my part of my story to the world, and if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. That's fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, each, you know, I'm sharing at the moment. I'm working on this children's book. So I'm up to like page 10 of it. I've got like 4 more pages to go.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really cool. It's nice to see that evolve. You know, I'm used to slowly doing, you know, one project at a time. Now I'm doing a big project, and I'm like slowly building it up, which is different. Yeah, for you, do you work on like one piece at a time or a couple of pieces at a time?
Mostly one pieces in a time, but sometimes I just I'm blocked on the picture, so I put it away for a time, and after that I maybe redo it. But mostly it's one piece at a time. Yes.
Awesome.
I I don't know. I don't know if I can do a lot of. There is some people who says to me, I have to do much more at a time. But I don't know. I don't know if I can handle it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, some things work for some people, and other things don't. You know.
Yes.
You know, some people prefer to do 2 pieces because they get stuck on one, and then they do the other one and then come back to it, kind of a thing. Which can work out. You know, I've done things like that before. But for me, it comes down to time as well. I can only work on so much, and because I've also got, you know, I've got to do video editing and things like that. You know, I've got that.
It's really time consuming.
Exactly. I've got that for my side thing, so it's like I can paint when I you know, I really have the urge to paint, but if I don't feel like painting, I can then video edit or do something else that will be helpful.
Yes.
You know, for the things that I need to do. So, you know, having those little side projects can help, but it's not necessary for everyone. Everyone has their own kind of a thing, you know. Some people prefer just to work on the one piece and get that really good, and then, you know, then go to the next piece and move on. You know, each their own.
Yes. Yes. And you're working on the book. How do you project to edit it?
Sorry, what was that?
The edition. How do you project to edit it?
To edit
Your book.
it. Well, for me, I'm just making it myself, so I'm my own creator of it. So I'm just creating it at the moment, from creating the characters. You know, I kind of had the characters in my head, and I just jotted them down, and eventually that grew into a story. And I've just drawn the story out, just like quickly jotted it down, kind of a thing, and then I developed it further in Photoshop. So at the moment I'm just focusing on most the painting side of things. I do like have the story written down, so the stories are there, but I haven't, after I finish kind of painting each page, I will place the text in there, and kind of start to print it from there.
Tattoo printing?
Pretty
No.
much. For me, you know, I don't have to pitch it to anyone, or anything. I can just print it and do it on my own if I want to at the moment. Until, you know, maybe there might be a company out there that might want to take it on. But because, you know, here in New Zealand we don't exactly have a lot of like publishing companies. The only two
Mm-hmm.
places is Auckland and Wellington. So I'm not from any of those two places, so it's hard to go to those two places, and you know, because
Oh yeah.
mm,
Oh yeah. And you, where are you in New Zealand?
uh,
Is it far from Wellington or?
well, it's about 2.5 hours, 3 hours.
Okay,
So it's not too far. Um,
it's not.
but it is, you know, it's expensive to go there and things like that, you know.
Oh, it's not simple too.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's quite expensive to live there as well, and yeah, those are at the moment, you know, those Auckland and Wellington are the most expensive places to live. But that's where
Mm-hmm.
all this kind of stuff is happening. But you know, yeah, for me, I'm working full time, so that's, you know, I'm working full time, and then I'm working on this illustration and YouTube stuff and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Are you full time illustration or?
I was until last week. Last week, like I said to you in a mail, my wife just find a job, and it's a big job. She works every week 42 hours,
Oh yeah.
and she's cook, so it's in a restaurant. So the time is not linear. There is some cut, and I have to see to watch my little girls. And now I'm how to say that home guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So since she just began, I didn't have 2 hours,
Mm.
2 hours for drawing. I didn't draw this week. Before that, I was every day, every morning. I was drawing, but now I don't know. It's a new rhythm, and we'll see how I can handle it, because I have Chinese girls too. So it's not it's hard. But before that, I will say I was working every week, maybe 30 hours to 40 hours on drawing, or seeing videos on how to do this, how to do that. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. For me, I was full time doing it. I wasn't exactly, you know, it wasn't paying the bills, but I was just doing it all the time as much as I can. And yeah, I've recently had a daughter as well. I've had a daughter.
Oh, congratulations.
About 9 months ago. 9 months ago.
Oh, do you sleep well?
She sleep well. You know, the first few months, it's obviously, you know, a bit of a battle with having to get up 3 times a night, or, you know, sometimes 4 times a night.
Okay.
And then, you know, I had the month or two off, and then I had a bit of work going on. So it wasn't too much. It was like 3 or 4 days a week usually, and then it slowed down. You know, it was more casual, kind of just they called me up when they wanted me, kind of a thing. So that got a bit hard, you know. Yeah.
You're lucky. Yeah. You're lucky.
Yeah, but yeah, I've got my partner. She looks after her the most. And you know, when I come home from work, I usually look after her for an hour or two, and when she's in bed at like 10 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock, usually she goes to bed about 9 p.m. around about. So as soon as she goes to bed, I'm usually starting on doing painting for a few hours, and then I usually, at 11 o'clock I'll go to bed, and then I'll wake up early, hopefully before she's awake, and do some painting in the morning just before I go to work, kind of a thing. And yeah. So
I prefer paint in the morning. I don't know you too, no? Isn't it
it's
morning or evening?
it's hard to say. I mean, I quite enjoy it at night, actually. I like just painting at night. Just painting per se, not creating and making the ideas and starting a drawing and things like that. At night, I just like to, finish things off and paint it and colour it and all that stuff. But in the morning I prefer to do all the kind of preparing and drawing and kind of more brain activities kind of a thing. Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I prefer it at night, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, awesome. So awesome. Yeah, what was your schedule like when you were
first I wake up at 7. I look at my big daughter, and I send her to the school. Then I come back to home and I begin with DeviantArt or the DPS school, the school online, the French school online, and maybe for 1 or 2 hours, and then I begin to draw. At noon I don't eat. Sometimes I eat, but it's not every day. And I continue to work to maybe 4 p.m. or 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
yeah.
Yeah, and after the evening, I'm too tired to continue. But sometimes I watch some YouTube video on this kind of how to draw things, and that's it. It's like that Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yeah.
The weekend, I want to do something else.
Awesome. Well, that's cool. Do you do much in your weekends? Like other things?
The weekend, I used to go out a lot with children and my wife, and see friends.
Awesome.
And whatnot. Yes. Every weekend is different. Yes. I try to continue to do some different things. I don't really like routine, but I need it to draw it my best.
Yeah. It's definitely a hard thing to get into, routines and things like that. Yeah, but I mean, each their own. Some people get to do this during the week, and then get to do other things on the weekend. For me, I've got work from Monday to Friday, so usually on the weekend I'm painting, and there are also things on the weekends that pop up every now and again, like there might be some sort of event or thing that I go with my partner and my daughter to, or something like that during the weekend sometimes.
It's good.
But yeah, usually I'm painting most of the time. Yeah, recently this week I've been a little bit had a little bit of a cold, so this weekend I'm kind of just staying home.
Yes, with children, yes. We always, in my home, there is all the time there is someone who's here, all the time, and every time it's from my daughter, my first daughter, go to the school. After that, I have every week there is someone with here.
Yeah, it's another challenge, you know.
It changed a lot.
I mean, in the morning, if I usually when I try to paint, she'll get up around about 7, so I just let her out of her cot, and she'll be like crawling around here, and then she might crawl like near my computer, so I've got to move her somewhere, and then it's like I do a little bit of painting, and then she's like back here again, we've got to move her somewhere else or put her somewhere else, and sometimes I just end up playing with her for like half an hour, and then I'll come back to painting a little bit, and then it's like, oh, she's back here again. So it's challenging, but sometimes yeah, I can get through it. But yeah, when she's asleep, I definitely could do more, you know. So that's kind of, for me, nighttime I get to do a lot more, so I try and do it at nighttime. Because, you know, in the morning it's harder because she'll usually be up around 7, so I've got to kind of entertain her as well as paint, so, you know, it becomes a bit more challenging when she's asleep, you know. It's much easier. So yeah, I see you like to do a lot of kind of animals and people. What's your favorite thing to paint?
I think it's a monster and mountain. I like to do a lot of things. I like to do medieval things, fantasy, sci-fi maybe. I want to progress in architecture.
Yeah, architecture, yep.
Architecture.
Yep.
And yes, I want to progress in that. I don't do a lot of that, and I like to do it. But I want to draw everything. I want to know how to draw everything. So I have to train and train and train again.
There's so much.
There is no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there is so much to learn, you know. You want to get good at backgrounds, and then it's like you want to get good at characters, and then you want to get good at creatures, and you know, there's just so much to learn.
Of course, I like to draw characters, but yes, it's endless. Yes, it's and I think it's because it's endless. I like it so much. Like I learned Chinese, it's the same. It's endless. Do you know how many Chinese character there is? There is nobody on earth who know every Chinese character.
Exactly.
Nobody.
There's so many.
Yes, it's endless. Like drawing. And I like that.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many awesome artists, you know, there too. Which is really cool.
Yes. I really like on YouTube. I see a lot. I watch a lot of video. There is a Clean Carley. You know Clean Carley?
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yes. Um, my really favorite artist, I will say, maybe it's John Ho.
Awesome.
We'll go to New Zealand. John Ho, it's the Lord of the Ring.
Yes.
It's a artist director, and maybe Frank Frazetta. I love Frank Frazetta and Albert Bierstadt and all the Hudson River School.
Awesome.
Yes, that is my inspiration.
Awesome. Well, that's cool. You know, I have a lot of artists out there that I quite like to see. I mean, one of my favorites is Bobby Chio. He's awesome. He finds a lot of artists too. He talks to a lot of artists, which I get to see their work as well. You know, I'm always inspired by other people's works and other people's stories and things like that.
How do you say Iko? What's his name? Bobby
Chio.
Chio. Oh.
See.
He's Korean. No.
I think so. Bobby Chio.
Korean. The name. I heard this name, Bobby.
He lives in Toronto, I think.
Toronto.
Yeah, I can't remember, but yeah, he's an awesome artist. I always watch his videos. I should know what you know, this stuff.
Good, no problem. Yeah.
But you know, I always forget everything because you know I'm learning. I'm busy doing a lot of things. It's funny. My partner would be like, "Why can't you remember anything? Like remember stuff?" And it's like, well, I'm so busy. You know, I've got to remember things at work. You know, I've got to do stuff and remember how to do my job at work, and then I've got to come home and I'm busy remembering all my other stuff. So there's always things that I forget, like for instance if we're doing groceries, you know, there's always something you miss, you know. And it's like, oh no, we forgot this. And I'm just like, you know, one thing we forgot, at least, you know, we got most of the stuff.
Yes, I know. The same for me. I always forget something. Especially, I'm going old, and I forget more and more things. Yes.
You should only do as much as you can. No, you can't remember everything.
No.
I mean, it's the same with painting. You know, like every now and again, I would look back at my painting, you know, just to critique it, kind of a thing on my own. I kind of look at it and be like, what's wrong with it, and then it's like, oh, I'm missing this or missing that. You know, with one of my paintings that I recently did, I missed out on scaling. Like the scale of the characters wasn't right. You know, one character was bigger than the other, so it didn't make any sense. So that was one thing that I forgot while I was painting. You know, I forgot to just look at the basics. You know,
it's because I think it's important to have someone or some people who can tell you, hey, or recall you, hey, you forget this or forget that, and it helps a lot to have a community to count on.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it's, you know, we can't remember everything and everything. You know, we're always, you know, you're focusing on painting and getting this looking good, and then it's like you forget about this thing here, and you can't see and remember everything in one painting all the time.
Yes.
Which is really helpful to just get another pair of eyes. Some people might not have the opportunity to have a community or people that can help in any way or form, but I mean there are other ways to do it. You could, if you're traditionally painting, plop your piece on the wall and step back and look at it and just don't work on it, just look at it.
Yes.
That's one way of stepping back from your painting, just looking at it, not painting it, just like staring at it.
You do that a lot?
Yeah, I do it a wee bit. I would look at every now and again, once I've been painting for a little while, I'll just look at it and be like, is there anything wrong here?
Yeah, I do that a lot, a very lot. Sometimes I can stare at my picture for maybe 20 minutes and don't do anything. Just stare at it. Just to see what works, what don't work. Yes, and don't draw anything.
Yeah, and I mean the other way is to go do something else, like go and draw, go and draw your tree outside, or go and go for a walk and things like that, and then just come back and look at your painting without drawing on it, and then you eventually find something there.
I like to sleep between two works. How to say that? On a picture, when I'm blocking on something, just a night of sleep, and the day after, the solution come itself. Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't come when you want it to. It will,
Yes, just like Newton.
Yeah.
And the gravity. Yes.
It'll just come when it comes. You can't force it. You can really tell if it's forced. So you just gotta go with it. I mean, it's hard, especially for me. I've got to keep producing this work so I can keep my YouTube channel going, things like that. And it's the same for if you're working in studio. You've got to keep it going and things like that. It's definitely hard to live that kind of a life.
Sometimes you have to push yourself, but sometimes you better just stop for a little while, and it will come itself.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes you do a lot of this prepping, and then it only takes you like 20 minutes to paint the actual thing.
Yes. I know this.
So sometimes it's just getting the prep work right is the main thing. Yeah. Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Just I guess one last question. Who would you thank for something they taught you?
I didn't understand the question.
So if you had to thank someone that helped you get where you are today, who would you thank?
I really don't understand what you're asking for. Sorry.
That's all good.
Really?
That's all good. So you can check out your work at Yun77 /Yun77.
Yeah.
It's been awesome chatting with you. Anything else you'd like to say?
Yes, thank you very much. I hope everybody can understand what I said, because my English, I know what it is. It's because when I speak English, first come in my brain words. The first come words is in Chinese.
It's awesome.
Sorry.
It's been great. I think you've done really well. It's awesome. And you're my first French guy I've had on here, which is really awesome.
Okay, thank you. You're the first New Zealand guy I met. on the internet, and I really want to see this awesome, how to say that, landscape. I saw a lot of really beautiful photo of New Zealand. I really want to see that.
So have a good one, everyone. Bye.
Bye bye. Okay.